Hey, what's going on, everybody? David here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about collecting. And not just movies, just collecting in general, all around. This has been a topic that's been on my brain for a bit. And, I started kind of thinking back on how I started collecting, why I started collecting. And it started to kind of get me thinking of other people and how they collect, why do they collect. There's a couple of different areas of as to why. Like maybe out of nostalgia reasons. Stuff you maybe remember when you were growing up that either you had or that maybe you saw when you were younger and couldn't own at the time. You get older and you're able to get those things now. And I find that to be one of the biggest reasons with a lot of people that do collect is they go back and hunt for stuff that they remember from their childhood. And I think that's probably one of the coolest things to do. Now I can't speak on like other generations, like what their collections would probably be like or what they would collect for, but I know like mine, we would tend to normally go towards like Transformers, Ninja Turtles, He-Man, things like that, all sorts of things, old school stuff like that from the 80s and before. There's also other people that collect, I guess more so for monetary purposes. And I'm not talking about people that buy and resell. That's, to me, I feel like that's a business. You're trying to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. What I do not like, I guess, is people that just flip it because it's hot, kind of thing, and they're trying to mark it up like crazy. But again, to each their own. Thankfully, I'm able to kind of work around that a little bit for the most part, and most of the time I can find stuff for retail price. A lot of times though, like I say, when I say investment, it's more of like, say you buy something because you do want to collect it because of a love of it, but say you keep it over time and it does, accrue value, and it's just, say for instance, times are hard at some point, and you gotta let go of some stuff. At least there's some sort of I guess peace of mind in a way that, okay, I'm gonna let go of this. Thankfully, it's actually worth something, and can be used for a good purpose. Say you got a bill coming up or something like that, or you just you need money in general. That's where I'm like, okay, I can understand. I can totally 100% understand if you collect purely for an investment purpose, or say you want a collection that, all right, maybe at one point you want to sell and liquidate everything, and put all that money towards something, towards your family, towards say buying a house, a car, things like that. That's always smart to think about as well. Also, another way is just the hobby of it, just collecting just to collect. Things that you love, things you're not worried about. Hey, this is going to be worth such and such amount of money in X amount of years. You're just like, this is cool. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it looks on my shelf. Things like that. That's also a very cool way to be a collector as well. And then lastly, I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more, and if I'm missing something, be sure to let me know in the comments. But the last one that I had on my list was just the aesthetic. You like the look of a collection. You collect because you, I guess, almost want your collection to almost be like museum like. And there's nothing wrong with that as either at one bit. Me specifically, I am a mix of all of those, and that's why I kind of have those examples, right there, because I am a mix of all of those types. Nostalgia, totally. I collect for probably, and I started thinking about it more and more the other day. I collect a lot for that reason. I have a lot of interests, and that's one of the things. If you don't collect and you want to get started into collecting, or if you just want to collect one small type of specific thing, think about your interests. Put those down on a piece of paper or something. What am I interested in? So there's some people that like Mickey Mouse, some people that like Winnie the Pooh, me. Some people that like just Disney stuff all around. Interests are a huge start at making and building a collection, things like that. But I have a lot of interests, and that's where it gets a little crazy sometimes. Because, like, say, I love movies. Movies is like they're one of my biggest loves, and I've talked about this before in another video of why I started collecting. I've always wanted to have this big library of movies. My movie collection is mainly it's stuff that I love, yes, but I also have my collection built around, like, say, family and friends. I'll have certain movies in here that maybe are not my favorite, but say if somebody comes over and they want to pick out a movie to watch or something like that, like, I have all kinds of genres to choose from. So I've always wanted to build this like library of cinema, from everything from cheesy horror movies to slapstick comedies to Oscar-winning movies to art films, all sorts of stuff. I love it. So that's one of my biggest loves. I also love comics. I grew up collecting comics a lot, and one of my biggest things is the characters, superheroes in general, things like that. All of that kind of bleeds over into all the other things as well. So, and then let's see, I have action figures. I love action figures, but like I said, everything kind of bleeds into each other, and that's kind of where you kind of want to go as well, but you have to be very careful, because all the action figures that I have are mainly like superhero related, and that goes back to comics, and then that goes back to movies, things like that, and then video games. I love video games. I love retro video games. I love the newer stuff. Lately, I've been more so getting into retro, more and more, like buying up the older systems and the older games and things like that. And this is, I guess, where I am at with my collection in general. I'm all about preservation. Preservation is really big for me. That's a very important part of my collection. I hate to see, like, say, a video game system just sitting there collecting dust or just rot and things like that. I had to talk my brother into selling me a PlayStation that he had there, because it was just sitting in his garage. And I would ask him about it, and he'd be like, no, I still want it. I still play it. I'm like, no, you don't. And I hate for it to go to waste. Just sell it to me. And, I'll take it off your hands. And finally, I was able to convince him. I have, like, say, I have like a Nintendo 64. I have a couple of all-in-one retro consoles, so that way I can preserve some of the older stuff that I do have. You know, like Sega Dreamcast is one of my favorite. I have an Xbox 360, Xbox One. I have a PS1, 2, 3, 4, Wii U, and a bunch of games to go with it. All those things. Just because I hate for stuff to just the physical aspect of it just to go to waste. I've seen too many things like that, comics included, just start dusting away, and that kind of kills me. But I also do love it as a hobby, just to collect for fun. You know, I do have I collect in different ranges. So there's, you know, your low range of stuff, there's your mid range of stuff, and there's your high range of stuff. I'm an all arounder. I'll collect anything from, like, say, things like this, like little knickknacks like this. You know, little superhero stuff, toys. This is an original Ninja Turtles cheapskate from when I was a kid. Um, you know, and then I have like wrestling masks. I have books on lucha libre. You know, stuff like that. High C ecto coolers. Weird things like this Bob Ross energy drink. I mean, it's strange. And you know, I have action figures all around me. This is always what I wanted when I was a kid, was to have a collection that I could just enjoy and be happy with. And you know, I have like some low range stuff, some mid range stuff, you know, movies, really pretty pricey steel books and things like that, some video games that are pretty pricey. And then I have like higher end stuff, like higher end steel books, some higher end collectibles, some posters that I bought that are probably a couple of $100, things like that. And I appreciate every aspect of every little thing, from this to the bigger stuff, for different reasons. You know, like say you asked me about steelbooks or movies in general, because I get that asked a lot, obviously. I tend to collect whenever I do collect, I go for things now that are more unique, artwork wise, like features, like say embossing and things like that. Little like collector sets that come with extras. You know, things like that are the things that amp me up to want to collect that kind of stuff. Every time I see companies do it, I get really excited, because I root for all those companies out there that put out really unique, you know, collector's editions and things like that, because not everybody's doing it, and it can be fun to collect for these things. Yes, they can get kind of pricey, but at the end of it all, you know, you're collecting for what you love. You know, what you find, what attracts you to that thing. Another thing that I do get asked sometimes is there a right way or a wrong way to collect? Short answer, no, there isn't. Long answer, no, there isn't. You be you. You know, you collect for what you love, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. You know, you get those people out there that are saying, "Oh, you're just gathering junk." Well, it's junk to that person, but to you, it's something special, you know. And I used to get comments like that a lot, you know, and I've, you know, grown to just stand my ground and be like, no, this is the stuff I love. That's why I have it. But anyway, that's just a taste of what I collect for and how I collect. Everything kind of blends, like I said, you know, blends into each other and meshes into each other one way or another. The typical things being retro, comic, superheroes, things like that. Toys, that go into cartoons, Disney, all sorts of stuff, all mixed into one. And as an adult collector, it gets a little bit more capable for me to get these things, but you also have to be a little bit more selective as an adult. You know, you don't want your home or your space to look like just like a garage where you dump things. But you know, you want to collect in a way where you can display things in a cool way, even if it looks like this like really cool like museum-ish type of space. I think those are the kind of things that I want for my area. But again, with all that said, I want to know how you guys collect. Do you guys collect a certain way? What do you collect? Doesn't have to be just movies. It could be anything. You know, I know we all have our own interests, and there's no judgment here whatsoever. No one's here to judge. We all have our own likes. But like, what do you collect for? How do you collect for it? Are you very selective on how you collect? Are there things that you stray away from completely when collecting? Like me, I don't do Funko Pops very much. I have some, but I don't do them, you know, actively. The ones that I do have, I have because they are special to me. They mean something to me. But is there something that you just stay away from in general? Like action figures, do you just like not do action figures? And do you do like statues? You know, because I do know people that collect big high priced statues as well, and things like that. So that's I guess that's kind of what's been in my brain for the last couple of days is how everybody else, you know, collects, and in what way, what capacity, what range, as well. Let me know in the comments. I'm honestly and truly curious. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you dug it or found it informative in any way. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well, because I will be coming back with more videos as always. And with all that being said, we'll catch you next time.